Nobody ever tells you what actually happens when you work with a financial advisor. So here's the thing. You get a pitch, and then there's a black box. And somehow there's paperwork, right? So let me just walk you through mine. It starts with a conversation. And the first thing I need you to understand is what you're trying to accomplish, okay? And listen, that can sound obvious, but it is not obvious, because most of the industry starts with a product. Somebody's got an annuity sell or this perfect portfolio model to fill, and then they go find people to put it in, right? That's backwards. The strategy, the products, the accounts, all of that should be reverse engineered from what the money is actually for. So the first meeting is really just me asking questions. What are you trying to do here? What's the money for? What's the retirement you're picturing specifically? You know, what are you afraid of? And what do you care about that has nothing to do with money, but the money has to support? And I'll tell you how I think about that. Everybody in this business says they treat clients like family. Okay, fine. But if you're going to treat someone like family, you have to understand them like family, right? You know what makes your brothers ticks. You know what your mom would never do, no matter how good the math looked. That's the level of understanding that I'm after. You can't get that from a risk-tolerant questionnaire or some form, right? So after that meeting, I need data: statements, tax returns, social security estimate, pension documents if you have one, insurance policies. And I'll be direct about why. The quality of the advice you get depends entirely on the quality of the data that we get. If you hand me half of that picture, I'll give you half of a plan, and neither of us will know which half is missing, right? So then we go build a full comprehensive plan. Income, tax, portfolio, the whole thing put together so that the pieces actually work with each other instead of against each other, right? Then we sit back down, I walk you through it, and here's the part that matters. The plan is yours. If you want to take it and go implement it somewhere else or do it yourself, that's a completely legitimate outcome. I'd rather you have a good plan than have me as a client. If you do want me to implement it, then we talk about how, which brings me to how we get paid, right? Because you should know that before you're 3 meetings deep and you feel like you're wasting your time, or we're wasting our time, frankly. So there's 2 ways. If I manage your investments, I charge a fee on the assets that I manage. Standard asset management, a percentage, and it's disclosed in writing so you know exactly what you pay. And we're also very clear on what your portfolio costs. Things like tax drag on non-qualified accounts. No one brings that up, right? Expense ratio, like what the actual investments can cost you. If part of your plan uses something like a structured product, you know, an annuity or some kind of bank issued corporate debt, we are paid a commission, but that's by the company that issues it, and that does not come out of your money. You know, think about if you've ever bought a house and used a buyer's agent, the seller pays the commission on that, right? Both of those get put in front of you in plain language before you get anything and before you sign anything. So start to finish is usually 1 to 3 meetings. Some people need 1. Some people have a more complicated picture and they need 3. But if that sounds like a process you'd want to go through, we actually have a link below.